This is Scott Spears, and today we're joined in an exclusive interview by comedian Gallagher. Gallagher suffered a heart attack before going on stage in Texas on Wednesday, March the 14th, from which he was put into a medically induced coma until Sunday, March the 18th. And today he joins us for his first interview since those events. He also has a big announcement to make during this interview. Boy, this question means a lot here. Gallagher, how do you feel?
Well, I can't remember a lot of stuff. My daughter asked me who the president was, and, she was being really cocky, and she was right. I really didn't remember that we had Obama. But I remembered the vice president, Joe Biden, for some reason.
How do you feel at this point, being released from the hospital?
Oh, I was ready to yesterday. It's plumbing. As soon as they put your new pipe in, you're done. You don't need to hang around. The blood goes through the pipe, and the wheels on the bus go round and round. I had a great plumber here. Texas, Fazio, and I never had a doctor who showed up on a motorcycle with boots and a jacket. He's just the kind I needed to think outside the box. The other doctors had told me that I couldn't get a bypass because the area of my heart was dead, and there's no sense in sending water to a dead lawn or whatever. And he said he just jammed it through. I think he's like a mechanic, but he's great. And also this girl down at I don't even know her. I want to send her a card. My daughter is with me, and she's keeping my memory. They tell me it's going to come back, but I don't know. But I was in the club with my hammer, and I just fell over. And lucky for me, she was an EMT, and right there was a cool little thing to smash my chest. And then she called the 911, and they came over and shocked me. I don't know why this seems like it helps you to get beat up and then shocked, but it works. And so now here I am. And so I've decided that this is enough. I have 32 years of live performing, and so I'm looking for just some little stuff, like retirement things. I like to show up at maybe company parties, or I was going to go down there to Florida and participate in that walk because that guy shot the neighborhood goofball, but I couldn't make it. My son and my daughter wouldn't let me keep doing one thing after another.
Now, Gallagher, you just made a big announcement there that I know people are going to be shocked by, because you booked hundreds of dates every year. You're saying, for the most part, the performing career is over. Am I right?
It's babysitting people who can't handle alcohol. It wasn't about jokes or performing. It was about whether or not people could handle their liquor. It's Lindsay Lohanville. They don't know how to just get half drunk. You have to be able to say when you're half drunk, well, this is it, instead of going 100% drunk and then, being wild. I mean, it doesn't matter how clever and how many jokes I've written. If the people are just loud and stupid. And, I'm too smart and educated. And, I did it for 32 years. I guess it's like being a teacher. I want my plaque, and I'm out of that high school.
Before this event that took place in Texas on March the 14th, had you ever thought that you might give it up?
No.
So this was the catalyst.
Yeah, the money wasn't worth it anymore. It wasn't. I want to try some other things. Roseanne Barr has this sitcom that I know about. That she's going to be in a trailer park with John Goodman, and I moved from Lorain, Ohio to Tampa, and then my dad owned a trailer park in Lakeland, and he ran for mayor of Lakeland, and so I think I'd be a good goofy guy.
I think you would be perfect in that role. Gallagher, I want to take you back. I know the memory's still fuzzy, but do you remember anything about being in Coach Joe's hat tricks in Texas on Wednesday, March the 14th? Do you remember anything about that?
No, actually, I don't remember renting the car.
Daddy, 65?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember renting the car, and I don't even know why I was going there. I don't remember my schedule. I don't remember flying into Dallas and renting. They gave me a van, a huge van. I don't know why I had this huge van, but anyway, I'm glad that this EMT girl was there, and with her CPR.
Well,
I've been lucky three times. I had a heart attack 5.3 miles from the Mayo Clinic, and then I had a heart attack. I actually had a heart attack on Sunday watching the Lakers in the playoffs in the year 2000, and I didn't, I travel so much I hardly see my kids, and I always had to sit up in my chair. For some reason I had indigestion, and we had a double cheese pizza, and I was enjoying that. And then the next day I wanted to work on some comedy, and I just didn't feel right. And so my girlfriend said, I'm taking you to the doctor. And we went down there, and they and I felt bad because I don't want to take up space of a sick person. And so, I'm really nuts. I was kind of relieved that I was sick and I belonged there. I mean, it's really stupid.
Well, I tell you, Gallagher, I'm shocked that you're going to give up the performing the stand-up act, because we had talked last year after your episode in Minnesota, and you were excited to get back on the stage. This is really a revelation. Had you felt bad leading up to March the 14th? Do you remember feeling different than you had felt in the past?
I'm getting tired. It was a very slow culmination of dealing with drunks. I think it's all about jeans. When people wear jeans like farmers, they act like farmers, and there's no maitre d' anymore. And so there's no consequence for behavior, and so nobody wants to send anybody to jail, no matter what they do. And so I just got tired of being a babysitter. I did it a long time.
You did. Well, I guess what I'm saying is, had you felt physically bad leading up to March the 14th? Were you starting to?
Oh no, I'm strong like bull.
Good.
I'm fine now. Once you fix the plumbing, you're just fine.
One thing that has made this more maybe traumatic than the heart attack in 2000 and the incident last year in Minnesota is that you were in a medically induced coma for 4 days. Do you remember?
Yeah, this is I can't believe I was part of. They told me they've been doing it for 4 years, but there's so many instances of somebody falling in a lake and they didn't drown because they froze so fast and they got them out, and so they put me at 91 degrees, which to me is not that cold.
Well,
but I was there. My son tells me, I don't know. My son tells me that I was there for 36 hours.
What's the first thing you remember when you woke up?
I was surprised that I was in the hospital and my son and my daughter were there. That wasn't supposed to be. There's a sadness when you can't remember. I guess it's like Alzheimer's, It's this powerless. That's why I really don't want to get on stage, because sometimes I can't remember what I've said or what the word is, and it's I don't want to be pitiful. One time I was watching Jackie Leonard, and he told the same joke twice, and everybody went, "Oh God, is he pitiful?" And I just don't want to. I want to go out, with some kind. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write and put it all on the internet, and people can just enjoy it that way.
Perfect. Gallagher,
I'm writing a cartoon about saving animals, and it's called Crats, and it's about a cat and a rat in New York who have babies called Crats, and they can't decide whether they should kill them as part of a program to get rid of the rats, because they're a half cat.
Well, I tell you, Gallagher, we will all look forward to the writings on the website. You seem a little changed mentally. Did this change you mentally?
I guess there was some kind of ice in my head.
You see, your sense of humor is still there. It's absolutely intact. Will you change your lifestyle now?
Yeah, I'm probably going to take a bus. I qualify for $2,100 in Social Security, and I'm probably just going to take a bus around. But just like you called me, I have so many people that have invited me to come and just hang at their house instead of perform.
Well, Gallagher, I'm going to save this for the end, but I want to ask you another question. For all those of us who do care about you and do want to know, what is the medical prognosis after 3 heart attacks? You got your plumbing worked on, but do you have to do therapy? Is there any way to make this better? What will happen next?
If there's a buildup in the heart, then there's probably going to be a buildup in the carotid. And so I'll probably have a stroke. But I think it's going to take about 10 years, because I had a sonogram of my neck, and it just had slight buildup.
Well, Gallagher, this is kind of the end.
Off with his head.
Well, no,
that would be full. I could live, without my head. That'd be nuts.
Well, let me just say this, and this is quite shocking. I never thought that I would hear Gallagher say that he was not going to do stand-up comedy anymore like you did for so long. And I want to say this, because you did get emotional there at one point. Your career was amazing. Your fans loved you. I saw you perform. I loved it. You're going to live on on the road in people's memories for a long time, and it truly is one of the great stand-up careers after 32 years coming to an end. There was nobody like Gallagher, the sludge-o-matic, and your witty, brilliant humor. I'm sad to see it go. I understand why.
Oh, I'm still writing. I'm just going to publish it on the internet.
I'm sad to hear you won't be coming around in the clubs anymore, but I do want you
Well,
to...
maybe I'll make a video, and they can... people don't act right anymore.
I understand.
I was at one place, I think in Indiana or Ohio. There was a large tent. Oh, Chicago, south of Chicago, and a large tent because it was a landscaping company, and he could make a big brick thing, and the bottles never stopped. Now, it was wonderful to have 600 people, but every 5 seconds a bottle fell over, and if people had 2 beers, that's 1,200 bottles, and it never stopped. And then I said, "Stop it," and they did it more.
Gallagher, one thing I want to say as we're nearing the end of this interview, and I do want to have you back often now that you're going to have some time on your hands. And by the way, if anybody wants to go to your website, they just go to Google, type in Gallagher, and it'll come right up. It's the first thing, and you'll be able to see.
Yeah, but I don't think there's much on my website because I use it just for my schedule. I think the way to appreciate me is to look at the YouTube. There's 3 pages of videos. In fact, one person videoed me having my last heart attack.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
There was actually 3. The 2 of them decided to drop it. And also my set. I have a 4 CD set with 14 hours. I put a digital every show I ever made. I'm sure people didn't see 14 of them, and they're in order so you can see me get older and better, and the world change. We used to have to say booby and tush when I first started in comedy.
Well, Gallagher, you are an innovator, and you know what? You, as silly as this sounds, your comedy has always been brilliant, so don't discount what I'm going to say with that. But you made the watermelon famous, and what brilliance that was. And how many people you entertained with that over the years. The big couch, I can remember. You really set a path that nobody could follow. You blazed a trail, and you're always going to be remembered that way with fondness, I think.
I have a lot of my props, which I'm going to sell on eBay. I have a foam rubber steamroller for squashing kids that I think some kind of a park should buy. And I have some rocking horses that have wheels on the rocker so they actually rock and roll, and some other inventions, and I'm going to put them on the internet. I love to play on eBay. You know what I do on eBay? I sell crucifixes because people pay a lot for them, and they're very light to pay for the
shipping.
For the shipping.
Gallagher, I want to ask this, and this is just because these rumors have been out there. Are you okay financially to retire the stand-up act?
I used to make enough to pay $7,000 for $2 million houses out in L.A., but the downturn, the people on TV said, you better not go out, you better save your money. And my income dropped to in about $7,000, I couldn't pay the houses, and so I let the houses go back to the bank. And I think that is that's a loss that actually will save me money. You can subtract your loss against income.
But financially, you're okay to leave the stand-up act.
Well, I was clever enough to make money with a watermelon. I'm gonna surprise myself with what I do next. I have a lot of patents. I've got a patent on the next generation of slot machine software. And I also have a toilet that kids can't put the toilet paper in and overflow. I have a patent on a solar-powered vending machine for parades, or the Sudan, or Saudi Arabia. And I think that Coca-Cola is pissed because I came up with it and they didn't. And I've got a shower head that stops when you step back off of the pad, and that saves water because you don't have to turn it on and then get the water back on again. But I'm really excited about my software, and I'm working with a company called I went to the. Are you there?
Yes, still here.
I went to the Consumer Electronics Show, and I made a lot of deals. I met a fashion guy, and my daughter, when she was 10, she loved to put on her mother's high heels, and that seemed dangerous to me, and so I made some high heels in size 11, 12, 13, 1, and 2, and I just met a guy who has a factory in Korea, and he is a fan of mine and said he'd make those, and so I think I'm going to make a bunch of little girls happy. And my slot machine software, watermelons fall down to the pay line, and they either bounce, break in half, or bust in a bunch of pieces, and you're a winner if the action matches. So you have to pay attention. You can't just say, oh, well, there's no watermelon there, I'm not going to win. You have to wait and see. And, I've got a lot of things falling from the sky, like, bathing beauties with umbrellas and paratroopers and anything that could fall down. Snowflakes with little elves, and they try to catch them without breaking. I'm working with a company called Acres 4.0, and this man invented the card that they put in the machine that keeps track of the player's activity, and he's on the forefront because he knows we really don't need to sit at a machine. And so all of his software you load when you come onto the property into your iPad, or I've got a Verizon, Samsung little thing I like. And so the future of gambling is you don't need to sit at a Formica box with a chair. You can do it in the restaurant, up in your room, in the lobby, out in the parking lot. And so the problem is going to be controlling it, because people are then not want to come to the casino at all, because you really don't need to.
Gallagher, you've got a brilliant mind, and I do want you to come back off. And I have one question, or two questions actually. The remaining dates that are still on your website that you had booked, do you know what will happen with those?
They're going to give the money back and tell people I had a heart attack and I have a problem. Remember, I want to be people's hero. I just can't stand there and not. I was talking to some people today, and I couldn't remember the country Israel, and it was irritating as hell. And now I can't think of the other thing that I couldn't think. It's in the news. They found out that aspirin may help after 2 years fight cancer, and then the thing they usually inject into a heart attack person, they say it may help and may not. Like Mitt Romney, he's a conservative, so he must be against abortion, but he has his wife walk up and say that he's not going to do anything, and so, I mean, this is crazy.
Well, final question for you, Gallagher, and the mind is still working pretty good, I can tell. Will you ever, and I know this may seem like a silly question, but will you ever smash a watermelon again, or is the Sledge-O-Matic done?
Yeah, if a Saudi prince wants me to come over, or I don't know, a really fun party. Yeah, none of these candidates look at like any fun. This guy Romney looks like he left the hanger in his shirt and some kind of a silver candlestick up his butt.
So is that no more watermelons?
Well, there's no reason to say that.
Well, Gallagher, I thank you so much for doing this interview. I wish you the best of health. I hope you come back, and it's really a seminal moment, the end of a prolific stand-up career that lasted 32 years, a lot longer than most. Gallagher, congratulations on the career.